Happens all the time. Hello, I'm Quiddity, or Mel, and you're watching me draw right now. This is my terrible process. This is my first YouTube video, and I just wanted to make a little time lapse and explain what I'm doing with this channel. I say little, it's clearly a 30-minute time lapse. Future ones might be a little bit shorter. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing and how much I want to show. Plus, I'm gonna have a lot of things to say in this one just because it is an intro video to the channel. So go ahead and settle in and chill out and enjoy the soft lo-fi royalty-free music. You can mute me if you want, turn on the subs, I won't be offended. I'm going by Quiddity on here, mostly because like my handle on other platforms, it has numbers in it and stuff. It's just a bad mouthfeel. But the word Quiddity is neat. You can Google it if you want. I'm mainly a commission artist. That's what I expend most of my creativity points on in a given day. I do have kind of a limited presence on most social media because I hate success, and also I'm bad at business. But I am trying to change that, in part by starting this channel. I just have a lot of anxiety, No one actually tells you in art school that you're gonna have to market and sell yourself. Like, it's kind of crazy. But anyways, here's me drawing some D&D characters. I'm just kind of lining over my initial sketch here with a crunchy brush. And we have a little tiefling bard and an orc fighter. They're buddies. This is mostly what I do all day. At least when I have work lined up. And here's also a little disclaimer. This is not a tutorial. I may have some tips to share, but I'm not an art teacher. Mostly what you're going to see on this channel is just me working on commission art with a little commentary thrown in. Some might be just time lapses with music if I have nothing to talk about. I might throw up personal or fan art, but it kind of depends on how comfortable I get with recording these. I'm not overly fond of my voice, and honestly I'm not really used to people watching me work either, but I'm going to try to get used to it, probably, I hope. I like to use a lot of texture in my art. I don't prefer the smooth, creamy digital look very much. Honestly, the art's gonna look real bad for a while. With my terrible process, it doesn't really start looking good until about phase 4. And you can sneak a peek ahead if you want to see where this ends up. With this drawing in particular, I was kind of working out what style I want to do for my future commissions. I did end up choosing this one for my commission price sheet. I've been doing commissions for a while. I started during COVID, so about 5 years ago. And I've got a lot of notches in my belt at this point, several hundred. And I'm no longer on the wretched bird site, but I do have handles on Instagram, Tumblr, and Bluesky. I'll link that in the description. I haven't really used Insta, but it's kind of been on my to-do list, maybe. I struggle. I can't abide the AI scraping stuff, and I know eventually that's going to be every site, but I'm just trying to avoid it. I've had a really hard time settling into one place since leaving Twitter. I'm just really shy, and self-promotion gives me hives. And I kind of hate that using social media has become a requirement for being self-employed. Because I am so awkward, and I'm always worried about annoying people, but it's just something I really need to get over. And from what I understand, anymore, if you're trying to be noticed or run any kind of art-based business online, you're pretty much expected to make video now, reels, whatever. Oh, moving on to phase 2, flat colors. This is either my favorite or least favorite phase, depending on how zen I'm feeling at a given hour. But I'm not going on TikTok, and you can't make me. I will literally be that "how do you do, fellow kids" meme. And honestly, I'm just scared. I've seen the art community drama on there. And also I'm past 30, so I don't think I'm even allowed on there anymore. So yeah, here I am on YouTube instead. And it's kind of funny because I told myself I would never do this. I have a face for radio, and I've accepted that. But also, you hear what my voice sounds like. It's not ideal, but I'm gonna do my best here. I'm not gonna use a robot voice because I hate listening to that. So I'm not gonna do that. And I'm not gonna use a voice changer because I just know that one day I'll end up doing a live stream or something, and it'll cut out, and then everyone is gonna find out I don't have a beautiful, sultry, feminine voice, and it's gonna be a big scandal, and nobody wants that. A sidebar, I will never be doing a face cam ever. Just look at my icon. That's all you need. I may not have a good face or voice, but I do have art process videos, and they're probably going to be very unhelpful, but they might be mildly entertaining, so there is that. So let's talk about, my terrible process a little bit. If you're a fellow artist, you could probably already tell that I am a nightmare person. I hardly use shortcuts. I use the history panel instead of Control-Z like some kind of nutcase. Like, who does that? I've never met another person who does that. I don't use clipping masks. Half the time I'm only working on 1 to 2 layers. I'm really just not optimized. Like, I sometimes even just color things in by hand instead of using a mask, just for fun, just enjoying the process. And this is why I can never be an Insta Reels sensation. I'm just not up to date with the current standards at all. Software-wise also. Like, I can't show you tutorials. I'm using a program that came out the year the world ended, 2012, and my drawing tablet is even older. Like, I have no Cintiq. I have no clean, cozy, well-lit studio backdrop to show off. I'm not going to have any Procreate brush packs for you. I'm not going to have Clip Studio paint hacks. I have no classes to sell you on Patreon. I also have no top 10 tips I wish I knew when I started taking commissions. And you might be saying, but Quiddity, Clip Studio Paint or insert other program are real cheap, free. Then you could make tutorials and brush packs and offer classes. But I don't wanna. I don't wanna do those things. I am using an ancient version of Photoshop, and I will continue to use it until it no longer runs on Windows. That or masked agents from Adobe break down my tour and whisk me away for re-education purposes. Phase 3, basic shading. I've just been using Photoshop for 20 years. Yeah, 20. And I'm still not even good with it. But still, I can't quit it. Like, you just have to lock me in a room and let me sweat it out of my system for like a year. So yeah, that's what I have on tap. I do take commissions if you're a freak like that. I'll draw your D&D character, your OC, fan art, your dog, book cover. I really don't care. I can use all the help I can get in this AI-infested wasteland. Things have been pretty tight since that became popular. I used to have people lined up like for months at a time, but it's definitely not like that anymore. So I'm trying to adapt. I made myself like a proper website. I made myself this YouTube. And this is kind of my last hurrah before I just give up and go back to like having a day job. And part of it is definitely my reluctance to use social media properly. But it feels like shouting into the void. And, no one site, like since Twitter, has felt like good for artists. Like, you have art sites, but they're made for artists, they're not really made for getting new clients. I do have my lovely repeat clients and my mailing list, and they've definitely kept me afloat, and I appreciate them immensely. But at this point, I do need to explore some new waters if I want to make this work. I have to find some new people. And I might try like Prince again and stuff like that, but that didn't really go great the first time, so yeah, right now I'm just kind of this wandering internet vagabond art peddler, just kind of posting all over the place kind of sporadically and just hoping I don't annoy people or something. It would be pretty nice if I got some traction on here. I'm not so arrogant as to like expect huge success on here, or like ad revenue. Like, I'm not expecting to be a big YouTuber, but I just kind of figured that people might like to see me work, so why not? More eyes on my work can't be a bad thing, I hope, unless I end up on a cringe fail TikTok. But I'm willing to risk it. I'll risk it for the biscuit. this is all a work in progress, you know. And with this channel, I do also want to be pretty open about like the mistakes I make. Like, scary as that might be, I make a lot of mistakes. You know, that's just a part of my terrible process. But I also think that when people see like only the perfect cuts in other time-lapse videos, it'll start to grate on your self-esteem. So I'm gonna leave a lot of mine in, like as you saw at the beginning of this video. And in a way, I really want to let myself be imperfect here. Like, that will reduce my anxiety if I'm not trying to be something I'm not, you know. I'm gonna line with scritchy lines instead of one perfect smooth stroke. And I'm gonna do real bad anatomy and fix it 900 times. And I'm probably gonna draw something wrong and then give up and then find a reference and then redraw it from scratch. But, you know, that's all part of the process. And I am what I am, and this is not a tutorial, as I said. You're just poking your head into my office, and I'm blathering at you about things while I work. Like, that's what this is gonna be. And if you're still listening, if you click this video at all, we will have a spring wedding. And I'm gonna shut up a little bit for the most part. I'll let the terrible process speak for itself. I'm still gonna pop in with commentary, but that's it for like the big intro stuff, you know? So thanks for humoring me. I'm still trying to find my YouTube voice, if that makes sense, so I apologize for everything. Oh yeah, you might be wondering why there's like 900 brushes off to the side, just like dominating my workspace. Yeah, I only use those if I'm faking watercolors, which is kind of a new thing that I'm playing with right now. For this drawing, I'm really only using the top 4. It's literally just a crunchy line brush, a textured round brush, a hard round brush, and a hard round brush with pen pressure set to opacity. That's 90% of what I use. I will very occasionally use like a big fuzzy brush, or like I have a few like little painterly looking brushes like for effects on the background, but that's pretty much it. These two just look like they're talking mad shit, don't they? They're just people watching. These are characters I made up on the fly, by the way. I don't really have names for them, but you can feel free to suggest some. In my head, I've just been calling them Cherry and Mint because of the colors. And no, they're not a couple, they're just besties. phase 4. Let's go. There's just something that's really, really satisfying to me about merging all my layers and then drawing on the top. I know it's probably like a weird thing to do, but I just always do it. It's the paint over layer. It's just what I do. And this is where it all starts to come together and it starts to look like a finished product. And there's the dreaded horizontal flip. You gotta do it, folks. Even if it hurts, you will see all the problems. It'll be painful, but it's better to catch the problems than not. I feel like these two would make really good, obnoxious NPC characters to, like, heckle the main party all the time. Like rivals or something. For some reason, I need you guys to know that while I was drawing this, I was binge watching Murder, She Wrote. It's just a really good show to draw to. There's lots of episodes, and you pretty much already know how it's going to shake down, so like, it's okay if you zone in and out. It's just perfect. You know, I think I added this tattoo because I hate myself. Honestly, drawing scales, it's like probably in my top 5 least favorite things to draw. Like, this isn't even someone else's character. Like, I chose to draw this. I did this to myself. Is there definitely a better way to do this? Yes. If I used a bunch of layers like you're supposed to, it would be much easier. but I would like to make it harder than it needs to be. Like, my motto on this channel is gonna be, don't do as I say and don't do as I do, and this is why. This is my terrible process, and it's named that way for a reason. I have absolutely no concept about how boring this time lapse is to watch. Like, let me know if I need to shut up, or be talking more. I'm really not sure which way to go with it. I love the classic flamboyant tiefling bard. I feel like every campaign has at least one. I really love painting anything shiny. It's like crack to me. Just anything with shinies. Hair, I love it. Little jewels and pieces of metal, gimme. That said, I actually don't love painting metal armor. Like, it's too much shiny. So that's why this orc is looking like she's straight from a Wuxia series. I just think those clothing designs are a little bit more interesting than a breastplate. Also, I said that this isn't a tutorial, but if you have any questions, like if I blazed past a process and you wanted to see like what I set the layer to or something, you can absolutely feel free to ask me and I'll tell you. People classically love to talk about how much they hate drawing hands, but for me, honestly, it's the feet. Feet and shoes. I always struggle to get the angle right. And you know, watching this, it's going by fast for you guys, but just painting this boot is like a minute for you. This was like a half hour of painting. You know, this is sped up 800%. These things take a while. Hey, look at that, you made it to phase 5. This is where I just rub some polish on it and call it a day. Then, I wait 12 hours and look again with fresh eyes, because I will always miss something. Oh my god, I forgot to paint the hand. One sec. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, really. If any of you have like suggestions for the channel or how I've edited this Frankenstein video, feel free to leave them in the comments. I've also heard at least once that liking and subscribing also helps. So you can do that too if you feel like it. Or not, do what you want. I'm not your mom. Just some final shots here. I hope you enjoyed watching. In the description you can find links to where to find me, my website, the mailing list, and how to queue up for a commission. All that good stuff. I'm hoping to put out like 2 videos a month to start. You know, these things are a lot more work than I realized, but I think 2 is reasonable for me right now. And just to finish this video off, I'm gonna leave you with a little reel of some of my past commissions. And yeah, I literally just recorded my screen using the Windows Photo app because I was just too lazy to come up with a better way, so please don't judge me. And also, this is not all that I've done. This is a tiny portion. This is just what I can still look at without cringing. So, you know, hashtag artist problems.